Welcome to Football or Soccer, the podcast with me, Sam Palmer and Tony Taafe. How are you doing today, Tone?
I said it last week and I'll say it again. We're at the top of the league. I'm splendid.
It's outrageous. I've got to say, I text you on Saturday that they won the league on Saturday, I think, Liverpool. I really do believe it because Bournemouth were really, really good.
They are really good, Bournemouth. Not whether they are.
And you know what? I think they've got 11 players missing.
I know.
Which it doesn't seem. I think their forwards are missing.
I think right back is a midfield. The right back who was playing on at the weekend was a midfielder.
It's incredible. I love the. Is it Kirkes, the left back? I think he's a really good player for Bournemouth. And Justin Kluivert, they just couldn't score, could they?
Do you know what? I always thought Justin Kluivert was like a knockoff version of his dad.
So did I.
But he's actually a player, that lad.
He stepped up because I don't know, and I might be wrong with this. I don't know if he would have been actually playing if their strikers were fit. But
no, he scored a few in his last few games, you know.
Yeah, he has. He scored a hat-trick the other way. But I think because their strikers are both injured. So he's then come in. I think he's been incredible, actually. I think he looks really good. Scored a hat-trick at Newcastle, didn't he?
Yeah. And he should have, to be fair, he should have scored at the weekend as well. That was some miss.
Oh, it was some miss, wasn't it? Yeah. It was a howler, actually, wasn't it? It was. He really should have scored. He didn't hit the target. He put it high and wide, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair to him, it did come at him at a pace, and I think it was on his bad foot. But he should have still scored it. It was.
I watching that, I thought they're going to score it, they did score a goal, didn't they? It was disallowed, wasn't it?
It's disallowed, yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly feel if Liverpool could get through that test, I know there's going to be other tests, but you're running out of games now where they've got to catch all them points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, which is, as you're getting through these tests week by week, it all of a sudden, it opens up more. It means you've got to go and lose so many on the spin, which is looking
I think, what have we
unlikely.
got? I think we've got 15 games left.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously talking about Liverpool here. 15 games left, I think. I think it's 15 games. I think we played 23. Essentially, we've got to get worse results than what Arsenal get in 5 games. 4 or 5 games, depending on obviously how bad the results are. I can't see it. I can't
Me
see
either.
it
I can't
see it happening, but mate, you never know.
Do you think Salah is a contender for Ballon d'Or this year?
He should be. He should have been in the last. He should have been 3 seasons ago as well. Last year, I don't even think he made the top 20 or something like that.
He's definitely the standout this year, isn't he?
He seems to be. I mean, can you think of anyone else in Europe?
No, and that's what I was looking at. Like, I know Mbappe's sort of is getting on track now, but he's not. No one's having the season that sort of Salah's having.
Didn't he?
I think it's quite.
Well, listen, I think what the Ballon d'Or comes down to is the team that gets either wins or gets really close to winning the European Cup, the Champions League, or I mean, I think if Liverpool win both, which, by the way, I don't think is insane.
Neither do I.
In both the Premier League and the Champions League. If they win both and he doesn't win it, then he's never going to win it.
What's quite funny with Liverpool is if this was City in this stage right now, everyone would be talking about the quadruple. It would be well on. Yeah. But no one's really mentioning it with Liverpool.
I've seen them mention it, to be honest with you, but they mentioned it a lot last year as well, and then it dropped off a cliff for Klopp, didn't it? And so I think people are a little bit more hesitant this time around. But I don't care about the quadruple, to be honest with you. I don't care about the League Cup, really. I don't really care about the FA Cup. If Liverpool won either the league or the Champions League, but especially the Premier League, then
They have to win the Premier League this year. They
They
have
have
to.
to at this point. If we beat Everton next week, we have to. If we don't beat Everton, it's game on now.
And I'm telling you, Super David Moyes. Do you know what? I am so happy for David Moyes. It honestly, I feel such a relief that he's gone in, because I honestly believe that he was the right man for Everton. I really did. And I am so happy that he's gone in there and he's doing it again with no different players. He's just gone in there, give them a shape. I've got to say, they looked unbelievable. I know they were playing Leicester, but they're the games they've been losing or drawing and not scoring. All of a sudden, they're scoring goals.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
scored 3 against Tottenham, 4 against Leicester. This is a team that scored like no goals the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he is proving people wrong at the minute.
Is this only a West Ham thing, or sorry, is this only an Everton thing, or did West Ham start it where they call him the Moisire?
The Moisire. I still call him the Moisire. No, he was known at that as West Ham. And you know what? I think, look, I know we're gonna get down the line with Everton, where he gets them up to European places, and they're gonna want more, like West Ham, and everyone's gonna say, "Remember what you wish for. Remember what you wish for." As I say, I do think it was time for him at West Ham. Unfortunately, and unfortunate circumstances. I don't think anybody took into account West Ham losing Declan Rice. I think that was a huge player out of our team that had propped it up for years.
Look at Rice yesterday.
He was fantastic, wasn't he? Put a few Arsenal fans wrong yesterday.
Yeah, immense. He was
that tackle he made on the edge of the box was fantastic. It was Declan Rice all over. He's playing in a new position in this 8, which I do not think is his position. But I'm so glad that he's doing it. We'll get on to City in a minute, because obviously that was a huge game.
Before we do move on, he reminded me yesterday of Steven Gerrard. He was everywhere. He was Mr. Everything, Captain Fantastic, all that kind of stuff. He was superb.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was.
If he would have scored one from 30 yards out in the top bin yesterday, it wouldn't have surprised me. He was that good.
He was on fire, wasn't he? But he's had it a bit hard with the Arsenal fans lately, and I think that's the Arsenal fans overall. Look, I suppose with Arsenal fans, there's this frustration that they're close the last few years. They've all wanted a striker. Everyone knows they need a striker. By scoring 5 goals against City yesterday probably means they won't buy a striker right now, because they'll go, oh, look, we got goals. So I think that is a worry for Arsenal fans. And I think it's probably their frustrations that they know they're close. Because, to be honest with you, Arsenal are probably my favourite team to watch. I think they've got a bit of needle in them. I think they've come a long way under Arteta. I really have.
I've said this for a long time. I like Arteta. I think he's. I mean, obviously they had Emery before him. It was Emery and then Arteta right away, wasn't it? I think if they would have had a little bit more patience with him, I think he would have done really well for them as well. But I like Arteta. I always have done. When Arteta left City to go to Arsenal, it took about 6 months, but it was obvious that he was taking them in the right direction. It was so obvious.
And look, he had to make them big calls, a little bit like Amarin's doing at Manchester United as well, where he got rid of Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette. So he had to kind of get them down to what he wanted to. They're a young side. Like what he's doing with them two young players, Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly, I think it's Miles Lewis Skelly, isn't it? It's not Lewis Miles Skelly. I can't remember what way it is, but what players them two
isn't
are.
It? I know that.
What players they're 2 finishes them two produced yesterday. These are young kids.
And they're kids, exactly that, yeah.
And Saka's not old either. Let's be honest. Saka's not an old guy either. Raya's save yesterday, he made that big decision, Arteta, with Raya and Ramsdale, that Arsenal fans were not happy with. He was a big fan's favourite, Ramsdale, and they brought him in and he wasn't good to start. But I've got to say, Ray is one of the best keepers in the league now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's safe.
Where he put it onto the bar.
uh, yeah. The
Yeah.
one where he put it onto the bar and then
Then
Haaland.
Haaland couldn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Even now, I'm thinking how. I don't
Great
know whether
save.
it was luck, but he makes too many good saves for that to be luck.
Yeah,
I
I
th
agree.
I think he's just a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah, and I think everyone didn't think that. So I think everyone was wrong. Everyone thought Arteta was wrong, including me. You think, well, why would you get rid of Ramsdale? But he was. If you look at Ramsdale now, he's struggling at Southampton, and they've gone on further. So
Yeah.
So we've had this in our group chat yesterday about Arsenal fans. Like they get some stick now, Arsenal, right? So
The biggest tarts in the Premier League, those fans.
look, we know, like Ian Wright, you look at him, they're moaning that they're getting sent off. They've got bias against them, all this. They obviously celebrated like they won the league yesterday. Obviously, coming from a club that you celebrate when you draw 2-2 with West Brom when you're doing nothing, and in front of your fans with Klopp
Listen, that
doing the
wasn't a
fist pumps and
celebration.
all
That
this.
was that was a what would you call that? That was an act of defiance.
Yeah.
Say that was rather than a celebration. So just for anyone who doesn't know, Sam's talking about when Jurgen Klopp first took over at Liverpool, and we drew 2-2. I think it was at
West
home
Brom.
against West Brom, and they Klopp had them do the bow. And it was at the time it was cringeworthy. But listen, can we say it didn't work?
No, and
No,
is
we
that
can say it didn't
like
work.
so on our group chat, people have had a go at Arsenal's song, North London Forever. They're having a go at they're having a like that they're doing victory laps and all this. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, my thoughts on it is it's hilarious how easy Arsenal fans are to wind up at the moment. I like
No, but
Arsenal.
what's your thought on the other fans of other teams having a go at them doing this?
Well, would you got to think of why are they having a go at them doing it? They're having a go
Because
at
they're
them.
winning.
They bite. They'll bite, and it's
Well,
just
and because see, it's funny. What I will say, and Tarrant said it on our thing. Everyone had a go that Emirates had no atmosphere and all that. Well,
yeah.
I've been over to the Emirates twice in recent weeks, and I've
Great,
got to
great
say
place to
the
go.
atmosphere is electric over there now.
And that's Arteta, by the way.
And all of that, what they've done, I think, by doing these victory laps, by doing all these things, they've brought the team and the fans as one. So, which they might not have done before. I love that North London Forever song.
Which is the man part of a big part of the manager's job is to do that. You know, the manager's job is not to just pick the best 11 players and you know set them up in the best way possible. A big part of the manager's job is to get the fans on side. And
Yeah, because then they're not on your back
well, it's not
as
even
well.
just that. It's when the fans are on side and when all the fans think everyone else is against us, everyone hates Arsenal or everyone hates Liverpool or Man United. Ferguson was the master.
Jose Mourinho,
Mourinho
the
again.
master.
Exactly. So that's part of the manager's job, I think, is to make everything cohesive. And Arteta's superb at that.
Yeah,
He's
I do think he's done a really good job. Sorry if you see me. I'm just moving my mic over because it's in the middle of nowhere, Amrit. This is you to blame. I like it there. There you go. So he's just in front of me now. Yeah, I think he's got a good culture there now where he has put this, as I say, that North London Forever, when they sing it. I mean, like we're two clubs that have both got a song that when you come out with Never Walk Alone, we've got Bubbles. It does change an atmosphere. Like when you do that, it makes it more daunting for away fans, away teams when they come and everyone's singing. And if you haven't got a song, I suppose we take it for granted because we've always had a song. So we think every team has a song, but they don't.
Like City have Hey Jude, which
No, Blue Moon, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah,
Hey
you're
Jude.
right. But I think they do. They play Hey
Yeah, I
Jude.
don't know if they do Hey Jude, but Blue Moon is definitely theirs.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
couple of teams that play Hey Jude. Is Brentford the other one? I don't know. But anyway,
yeah, and then some like Palace do that one, which is not a, which is Glad All Over, which is a song.
it's a
But
song. It's a song
but
that
it's
does.
not. But I
Belong.
suppose Never Walk Alone is not really actually, and Bubbles actually, they're not really football
Well, I
songs.
mean, listen, nobody ever really made those songs up on the terraces, did they? But we adopted them. But
Yeah.
You'll Never Walk Alone is obviously synonymous with Liverpool, Celtic as well.
Who? That's what I wanted to ask the other day. It's funny. I was watching Celtic this weekend, and obviously they sing it. Who done it first?
I don't know.
It's a
That's a
good.
good
I
question.
wondered that. I wondered. I wondered actually if it was a because Kenny Dalglish played for Celtic as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
we
wondered
signed up.
if it was a Dalglish thing,
No,
or
no,
I
it
didn't. I
wasn't.
didn't know
No,
if it was
it
that. I
was.
didn't know.
I'm gonna have to Google it now
Quite a
because
good one to find out, isn't it? It was like, and like West
because
Ham's Bubbles
it's a
obviously is a song.
Rodgers and Hammerstein musical song, isn't it? It's from the musical Carousel. It's a
I
musical.
always find Never Walk Alone, like when you listen to the original as well, I find it's such a weird that it's become a football song because it's so slow. And then
Yes, yes.
and you've actually got to be quite a good singer to sing it.
Well, I remember being in a car once driving down to London from Liverpool, and I was with a lad from Scotland, and Liverpool were playing someone. It was a European night, and he was saying, well, we were listening to it on the radio while we were driving down there. He was saying, "Oh, it doesn't sound as loud as I expected it to." And he's actually a Celtic fan. And what I think one of the main differences between how Celtic sing it and how Liverpool sing it is Liverpool start it really low
Yeah.
and it builds up and up and up, and I think that's the impact of it is that those last 30 seconds of the
Yeah,
song.
it's huge, isn't it? And that's what
Yeah,
they do with Bubbles as well. Like, they have it on the tannoy, keeps, and
yeah,
then what they do is when it's full tunes always on, they turn the sound off, and the fans do it. So that
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the fans know it's coming with that, so then they blast it and it. But yeah, I'd say going back to North London Forever, it gives them a song, and actually unlike ours, theirs is actually an Arsenal song written for Arsenal. So it's actually it's an Arsenal fan, the guy who wrote it.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't know.
it is
Before I so it's basically saying here we don't know. They both teams started singing it in the mid 60s, Celtic
right.
and Liverpool. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it was a Shankly thing or what. I don't know. But
But it's
anyway,
good anyway. And I'd say, look, I think so. Another thing of Arsenal that I've noticed, they bring out. Like, I think they have got the best merchandise in their Adidas stuff. They
oh,
bring out a jacket a week. It seems like they are
their,
really taking the piss
their
with that
World
now.
Cup jacket is
It,
super. Yeah,
their stuff is incredible. Like it's
you can't beat Adidas stuff right now.
no, and they they're bringing it out. It's obviously, but it also shows the commercialization side of football, where it's coming with these kits. Like City done a CP company collab.
Well, Noel Gallagher designed one of their third kits, I think.
Yeah,
This
and it
and
just and
it
so it doesn't
definitely
seem to
made
stop.
the font.
And I know there's a big thing about ticket prices at the minute and not being able to get there and all this thing. And it's sadly where I think football is changing to soccer, and I think it is going to get left behind. I know the ticket prices, they're getting up and up and up. Like Villa, I think, was £100 a ticket against Celtic.
Yeah,
They're getting rid of concessions.
yeah.
The corporate sides are huge. Like myself, I went to West Ham Palace. I went in the corporate end, and not even the most expensive ticket was, I think we paid £300 a ticket for
Really?
me plus three to be able to go in with no food, just got
Oh,
one drink
with the
covered.
boys, with the kids.
Yeah, when I took Minnie and the two boys, it's outrageous. And there was another ticket they offered me. I think it was 600 quid. I said, are you off your head? I said, paying that for Palace. And it was the worst game I've ever been to. So it's very difficult now for the average man and the singing man to go to football. So we're going to see these atmospheres change in the next few years, I think.
Yeah.
It's sad because I don't think we're going to stop it.
My little brother goes to every game with his son, and his daughter's now getting to an age where she's getting really interested in footy as well, similar to, Minnie. And he'll take them because because he can, but also because there's not really. I think it'd break his heart not to take them, not to be able to go to the match.
But he'll struggle doing it.
It's a piss take.
Yeah, it is. Because I think clubs, owners don't care if it's a bum on the seat. But I think what you're going to lose is, like we've lost the old grounds, we're now going to lose the actual support and the singing. Like West Ham now, obviously we've got nothing to sing for at this minute, which does make a big difference, I think, within a ground. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because people said London Stadium is terrible and things like that. I disagree. I actually think when the football was good and we had European nights there against Seville, Lyon, etc., that atmosphere was electric over there. So I think when you're playing Palace and getting beat 2-0 and haven't had a shot at goal, that the atmosphere is going to be flat wherever you go.
Yeah.
So I think that is it. But I do think we can't leave these loyal supporters at home. I really don't think the commercialisation, I don't think the ticket prices matter. And maybe we get to a space where we say, you know what, we can't play the players 350 grand a week, 500 grand a week.
I mean, you can't blame the players for taking the money, can you? Because
not at all. It's not the players' fault.
No.
Or the managers or the coaches or anything like that. It's none of their fault.
Yeah.
But football without the real fans is not football.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this goes back to I think the first ever episode that we did.
Of football or soccer, yeah.
Like, what's it changing into? Is it good that it's changing into this more commercialized space? Is it bad? I think we both agree that it's good generally, but there's definitely bad elements of it because we're losing. I think I said this in our first episode was when I first started going to Liverpool, I was probably, I don't know, the first game I went to was probably 6, but when I first started going semi on my own with someone else I was probably 11 or 12.
And same as me.
I was on the Cop and it was a £5 to get in the Cop, and me dad used to work every weekend, so he'd give me, a tenner to go and pay £5 and get a bottle of orange, all that kind of stuff. Now, there's no way he would have been able to give me money to go if we changed.
Because there's even the train ticket, all these things that you don't get in as well, like that have all gone up. And I think it is sad if we lose these real fans, especially at clubs like West Ham, for example, where we are real local support. Yeah. Everton, I would think, is very similar. You haven't got that global support.
No.
Yes, West Ham probably will be able to fill that with tourists because we're in London. So you can put tourists in there. But that really changes West Ham. I think it's not talking about you a bit of shithousery. Did you see what James McAtee from City's got in trouble for? With this kid?
No, go on.
So I've only read it on a post, and forgive me if I've got this a little bit wrong, but a kid goes up to the car, I think, where James McAtee, the City player, is leaving.
I definitely haven't seen
leaving City, and the kid asks for the shirt signed or something like that, and he goes to give it to him, and then he looks, and the kid's got a Sheffield Wednesday coat on, and he goes, and he's a big Sheffield United man, and he said, "Oh, you got a Wednesday coat on? No, go away." Like that. And the mum's done this huge post saying it's outrageous, things like that. But ultimately, they're saying he spent all his birthday money in the City shop. He supports 2 teams and all that. Fair enough, but I quite like that as well. Give it to a real City fan.
As well. If there are certain players that if they did that, you'd think come on, grow up.
Yeah,
But there are also certain other players, like, for example, I'll just give you two Liverpool examples because they're the two I obviously spring to mind. If Van Dijk did that, I'd be like, come on, mate.
yeah.
If Darwin Núñez did it, I would think it was hilarious.
Yeah. No, but I think also like like listen, if I like that, do you know what? If I was at West Ham and I saw someone walk up with a West Ham shirt and a Tottenham coat, I'd go, no way, get lost. I'm giving it to that kid. So good on you, James McAtee. You
Yeah, yeah.
spoiled
Fair
a
enough.
kid's
We
day.
we still need a little bit of that in the football for sure.
And it was nice seeing yesterday in the City game. Obviously, Arsenal battered City.
Hammered.
Nice seeing that there was a bit of needle back in that game, like with Haaland and Gabriel.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Gabriel is, by the way. What a
yeah.
football player he is.
To
Yeah.
be fair, what a goal Haaland scored as well. It was such a lovely goal. Like his movement was brilliant. His header was fantastic. It was such a hard header to score.
Yeah,
But
I still think he needs to be doing more for them now, mate. I really do.
well,
Um,
it's funny when Roy Keane said he was a League Two player. Roy Keane's never wrong about anything. I know it's hard.
I think
If you take scoring out of his game, he is not a great player.
no, but I mean that's like saying
But
if you took speed out of Usain Bolt, he's not a good runner. You know, like it's not.
this is what this guy does. He just scores.
Not that
Simple as that.
simple, yeah, but he still, when City are the best team in the world, which they have been for the last 3 years, haven't
Yeah.
they? Probably. And how long's he been there? He's been there for 3 years as well, I think now, Haaland.
Yeah.
And so when they're the best team in the world, he's the best striker in the world. But when they're not, he's abject. He's
Saw Pep in the interview as well after he had all the old red cheek where he'd been scratching himself again. I
Who?
thought he's
Guardiola?
Pep. Yeah,
Oh,
you have a look. He's got like a mark under his eye where I don't know if his old woman's been bashing him around a bit again, but it's weird how he does all that, but he's struggling at the minute.
I mean, he's an intense man now. You know,
He is.
He's not the best manager in the world by being relaxed.
And look, they've backed him and spent money as well in this January.
What
They're the
are
only
they?
team that's really bought anyone.
I think they're looking at signing someone else today.
Someone
as well.
today. I think a
Yeah.
holding midfielder. I don't know who it is, but they're a holding midfielder. I was just watching Sky Sports News a minute ago. So they're looking at holding midfielder. Yeah, but apparently Rodri is, they think, going to be back earlier than possible. Now, I don't think he's going to be back in a few weeks, but they have registered him for the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean,
And
listen,
they've got Real Madrid in the next. They always get Real Madrid, didn't they?
they've got Madrid. I think they play Madrid on a Wednesday and then they play us on a Sunday. I think.
It's a big game. Who did Liverpool get in the next round? Can't remember who Liverpool got.
I don't even know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
I just saw City and Madrid and started laughing.
And they've also got an extra game as well to play because of they're in this playoff stage. So they're playing in this play.
City, you mean?
City, because they're in the playoff stage, aren't
Yeah,
they?
and Arsenal. Arsenal too.
Yeah. No, Arsenal qualified.
No, they got in the playoffs.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I thought they automatically qualified. Look, shows how much information. We're doing a podcast as football
You know what
fanatics
though?
here.
The thing is that with this new format, it's so bizarre. It's because with the old format, we've seen it every year.
No, Arsenal qualified because they finished third. So sorry, Arsenal fans, they finished first. Liverpool finished top of the Champions League, and Arsenal finished third. Villa finished eighth.
Out. Okay.
Yeah, so they are in automatic qualification with Villa as well.
Yeah, I knew Villa did. Yeah.
Barca, Inter, Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen, Lille, and then afterwards it was all the rest. So
Okay, sure.
they did qualify, but so they got extra game to play. It's not going to be easy. Real Madrid, that's an awful game that you're going to want.
Well, do you know why I don't know who Liverpool got? Is because we don't.
You get this or that, do you? Yes,
well,
of course.
It is, yeah, but we don't know until the playoffs are done.
Yeah, you get either these people or
Yeah,
these people, don't you?
yeah.
That's it.
But
But it's
yeah,
nice to not have that extra game.
oh, amazing to not have that extra game. I
Yeah,
mean, it
it's
makes it two games because it's two legs as
yeah,
well.
of course.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
it's a
two.
big thing. You've got obviously we've got League Cup this week, FA
Yeah,
Cup at the weekend, which you're both the big teams down at the moment. In Arsenal are 1-0 down to Newcastle, and you are 1-0 down to Spurs.
yeah.
I think it's a Ange has obviously got a big week here.
I think. Well, they're still in the FA Cup, aren't they?
That's what I mean. It's a big week, so they've got
Yeah,
you this week, then FA Cup. If he goes out of both of those,
yeah.
because
Well,
to be honest with you, I
well,
watched them yesterday, and
after
Brentford were the
that,
worst
though,
you're ever going to play when you play Brentford. They weren't at it yesterday, and Spurs got a win.
yeah. They've still got the Europa League, though, Spurs as well.
They've still got that, which you think Man United also have got to be looking
Guess
to
who's
try
the
and win that.
favourites for the Europa League?
Who?
Guess.
Spurs,
No.
Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
which I don't disagree. Let's get on Man United now, because do you think Amarin is getting away with it a bit?
In what way?
Well, let's just say if it was Ten Hag right now with these results, people would be going insane.
I don't think it would be. People would be going and saying if Ten Hag had only been in the job for 3 months, two less than that. I think 2.5, 3 months. Um, I think he's. I don't think he's getting away with it. No, I think he's gone into a shit show. I think he probably didn't realize
How
how much
bad?
shit show it was.
But what I'm talking about tactically, right? So he keeps playing this 3-5-2,
Yeah,
or three at the back, for example, five at the back. He yesterday played Kobe Mainu up front
yeah, but no,
with Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes on the bench.
and got rid of and all, had obviously
Has let go of Rashford.
let go of Rashford. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mainu's never played up front. To be honest with you, I didn't watch the full game, Man United. I watched the highlights, and they were quite unlucky. It didn't look like they actually played bad, but Mateta goes and scores 2 goals. They look all over the place at the back. They don't look comfortable with it, and they're having a good go at it. Is it stupid that he keeps playing this formation? Is it a bit Ange-esque? If the players that you know you're going to get rid of are not going to be playing it anyway.
I think if he's still doing this time next year and still getting the same results, then yeah. But what I think, and I think we spoke about this last week, is that he's gone into this club, one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
United.
I'm bored actually of talking about United, to be honest with you. It's the same thing every week, isn't it? Amarin, Rashford.
But it's still interesting. It's
Well, they're so bad.
for me. For me, I'm always happy to see it. When I saw the second goal go in against Palace, was it yesterday or
Yeah.
Saturday? Yesterday, wasn't it? Um, I was just laughing. I was laughing my head off. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But that being said, what I think he's doing, and I think he'll do well if it obviously if it works out for him, is that he's gone into the club with a different mentality from Solskjaer and Ten Hag, whereas Ten Hag and Solskjaer were semi-passive. They were kind of a little bit like, okay, I'll work with what I've got. I'll make the best of a bad situation. And Solskjaer is probably the most passive football Premier League manager I've seen, I think, ever. Solskjaer he was almost too nice. Um, Ten Hag tried to be a little bit more assertive, but I just don't think he had the personality. I don't think he had the charisma.
No, and that's where I was saying, is Amarin getting away with it a little bit? If Ten Hag had Ruben Amarin's personality, would he have got away with it more?
If your nan was your granddad.
Yeah, that's what I just don't know, because his results are awful. I think they picked up 13 points in
Yeah.
14 games or something ridiculous. This is zero improvement.
But yeah, no, it's actually gone backwards, I think. But a lot of the time to make progress, you have to go backwards to go forwards. And I think that's what he's saying is, I'll sink the ship if what comes back up is better than what we had before. And if you don't like it, then sack me.
The
I
problem
think
is with
I
that,
think there's a
especially
nice
at a club like
arrogance.
Man United, if they go end of the season, they're still finishing around 13th or whatever.
Next season, yeah, yeah. He's only got the rest of this season to do that.
But the problem is you've put in a losing culture. It's hard to turn that around to, even harder to turn that around to a winning culture.
But as he put in a losing culture, they already had one.
Isn't it mad that no one's come in for Bruno Fernandes? Oh, he's not wanted to get out there.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point. I know,
Because you'd
isn't
think
it?
he could probably go and play at many other clubs.
Yeah,
And
in any time, has that?
it's weird how he's managed. Like you'd think he'd go like, I've had enough of this. Like I'm not winning anything. I know he's probably on a big contract, but you'd think he'd go and get probably a big contract, maybe even at Real Madrid. He's in that level of could go and play for a top side,
He's
Liverpool,
good
City,
enough to play for anyone. But
Arsenal. Like he could go and play for all of them, I think.
yeah, yeah, I agree with
But
that.
he's never played in a good United side, has he?
No, no. Who signed him? Was it Solskjaer who signed him?
Don't know who signed him actually. I don't know if it was Mourinho. I have no idea actually who signed him.
Yeah.
But he's been there a long time. He's obviously their captain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. I think if he weren't their captain, he'd be gone. I think he has a sense of responsibility because he's been made the captain. I think it was actually Solskjaer who made him captain, so it couldn't have been him who signed him.
Amorim's definitely bringing in the youth more. He's definitely they've got a
I
mad.
think he's setting fire to the place and saying the strong will survive. The rest of you can leg it
Yeah,
because
because
this
and
this
Garnacho seems to have turned it around under him as well. Obviously, he got dropped originally, and he's now talking about Garnacho like he's coming in. He's changed his ways and things like that. Obviously, we'll talk about Marcus Rashford has gone to Villa. Now,
yeah,
he looked awful when he was signing that picture, didn't he?
not crazy.
He looked like a drug addict, didn't he? It was like he didn't look right, did he?
He looked like he hadn't slept in a week, and the time when he has been sleeping, it was in a bus stop.
Yeah, I thought that as well. He didn't look right at all. His like skin, everything looked terrible. Like he didn't look like he was well, actually.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
maybe that is the stress. Maybe look, the fresh start. Like I think everyone would quite like to see him go there, start doing it again, and I don't see it, but let's see. Also, he's got to
I don't
think.
see it, but
Will
also
he
I
play
don't
at Villa at the minute?
say that again.
Will he play? Because Bailey's come back, who operates that left
Yeah,
berth, and he's
yeah.
playing well. They need a bigger squad because Villa are losing after every Champions League game at the moment, which Wolves, actually, I've got to say, I watched that game in entirety. Wolves battered them. They were so good against them. And it was quite funny to see Cunha was getting boos in the game. And then at the end, he sort of said, like, I'll sign the heart, I love you. Do you know what I mean? I'm surprised he wants to stay. I thought that was quite a weird decision by him, to be honest with you, that he's signed a new deal.
With Wolves, they'll stay up. They're not going to go down Wolves. I think
Southampton are long
Southampton
gone.
have done. I think Leicester have done as well.
I think we could see Van Nistelrooy sacked again.
I mean, he's had a terrible time there.
The only two games I think he's won is against Tottenham and West Ham, both who were absolute dreadful at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And they look like they've got no idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're bringing in, I think, Craig Dawson today, another West Ham legend. They're swapping Connor Cody for Craig Dawson, I think.
Really?
Which I think is a good move. Craig Dawson is the sort of man you need when you're in a rut.
Good though as well. I like Connor Cody.
Yeah, but I don't think he's been that great for a few years now, Connor Cody.
I mean, he was at Everton, wasn't he? He did okay at Everton for about a year, and then he dropped off a little bit of a cliff with Everton. But you know what though, going to teams who are going to go down. I hope Ipswich stay up.
I don't.
Don't?
Not really. I think they've been pretty useless all year. I like the manager. I like him, but I don't want to see that crap. I'll tell you who are flying, Leeds. They won 7-0, I think, at the weekend.
But they nearly
They
came off,
and
didn't
that
they?
Dan James is having a. Do you know what? I look at him sometimes and I think, wow, like it was so weird. Man United signed you, but he actually. Do you remember when he went Man United? He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Oh, didn't he go from Swansea or somewhere? It was a well.
Swansea to United, and then he went to Leeds. I think he went somewhere else on loan first, maybe Fulham. I think he went to Fulham on loan, but he started at Man United, unbelievable, and
Yeah.
then and actually he's probably better than what they got now.
He's a quick. He's a quick lad.
Yeah, so Leeds are doing well. Burnley are doing well. I'd like to see Leeds come back up because I really do think Leeds are a
They're a proper
Premiership
football
team.
club, aren't they? It's like when Villa went down, even when West Ham went down and
Yeah,
Newcastle
Newcastle.
went down. They're teams that you just don't want to see. Even Everton
Yeah.
have never gone it, but they've been by the skin of their balls. How many times, you know? And
I
you
think
get,
Moyes is going to get them right up the league. I do. And
I reckon-
apparently, I'm hearing Everton have got good money to spend in the summer as well.
well, yeah. I mean, listen, as long
New
as
stadium. There'll be a bit of a buzz. I reckon Moyes will get them to where they West Ham were, European places, and then they'll want more and go for something else. And then it'll be the same old thing with Moyes, unfortunately.
and then nearly get relegated again after they sack him.
Exactly. I think it probably will happen. But I'm liking what's happening at Everton at the moment. They haven't had any positivity in that club for a long time now. A bit like Newcastle under Mike Ashley.
Since Moyes left, they haven't had positivity there.
No, and it's a bit
They've
like
got good
Newcastle under
Ancelotti.
Ashley. Like it was Newcastle were forever just kind of like in the Premiership. Then they went down. There was like then they had Rafa, got a bit of positive, got rid of him. It was in and out, in and out. They've had positivity over. Although they've lost the last couple of games, Newcastle. They were on a bit of a hunt. But I think at this minute, it's looking obviously top half. Forest, again, coming out of a 7-star performance against Brighton, which, like, not many teams do that to Brighton. And I wonder, is Hurtzler finally getting found out a little bit?
You know what? I actually wondered that myself when I saw the result. I was like 7.
And they got beat 5 the other day, I think.
You what?
They got beat 5 the other day, Brighton as well.
You beat them 5.
I can't think who it was. Let me see. But so they've been shipping goals, and I don't know if they're starting to. Let me have a look. Brighton Hove.
I mean, but listen, Brighton are a club, not just a team, a club that roll the dice a lot. You know, but
no, they didn't get beat 5. Sorry, I've completely got that. Was it in a cup? No, maybe not. They beat Man United 3-1. That was it. And then, no, they won. Yeah, they won 4-0. No, sorry, that was me that got that wrong, that they got beat 5. It wasn't them at all. It was, but they got beat 7-0 by Forest. I'll tell you what, Chris Wood hat-trick.
I know.
Forest are looking a good team. I'd love to see Forest get in the Champions
Imagine
League.
having him in your fantasy team this year.
God, I really like what they're doing. I like Forest again. Proper football club. I haven't had anything to shout out for 20 years.
Yeah,
it's nice to see them doing good. I'd like to see them sort of kick on.
I don't particularly like Forest.
Yeah, you don't. I do. I've got a couple of mates that are Forest fans.
It's not really anything other than just when I've been there as an away fan, I've always hated it. But they're a massive, they're a big football club. They're a proper football club. So
yeah, European champions.
You can't take that away from them.
Be nice to see them go and get that Champions League. It'd be a step too far for them, obviously, but
that's then what the thing is that look at the last 2 years, right? So. Well, sorry. Yeah, the last 2 years, I suppose. Newcastle got Champions League when they weren't expected to.
Villa.
The next year, they were fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Villa, same thing has happened to them this year. I think they're better than what their league position.
So do I. I think they're just they're struggling a little bit with
Champions League came too soon.
Yeah.
It came too soon. It happened with Spurs actually as well.
Yes.
You know, so
even West Ham with the European thing, it took its toll on our league.
The next year it took it, and well, the same season it took its toll because didn't you finish 17th or?
No,
So,
no, no. We finished 10th last year in the end, but it took its toll.
but you were down there though for a
Yeah,
minute.
we weren't playing well because it's
Yeah,
but then you looked, we had basically West Ham, we had the same squad for years. We were the only ones that really bucked the trend with it because we went hard and into the quarterfinals, semi-finals every year.
yeah.
Quarterfinal, semi-final,
That's true. Yeah, yeah,
final.
yeah. So maybe
Um,
it didn't come too early for West Ham, but I think Champions
it
League
did
came.
with squad size because I think what we're seeing now is the after effects of all that squad playing so many games.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and then they're all goosed.
yeah, I think that's probably what happened, playing 60 games a year or whatever,
Yeah,
55 games a year. And a lot of them started week in, week out. We had Moyes like a very small squad. So you've seen your Součeks now. They've been playing every minute of every week.
yeah. And how old's he?
I don't actually know Souček. Must be in his 30.
Yeah,
Soufal, 34, I think. He's now our sub, but
you
they were
can't
playing
do
every
that
week.
at that age. You can't.
Bowen,
Yeah, I mean, what's Bowen? 28, 29?
yeah, 20, I think.
And I would say after Salah, he's the best right winger in the league.
Well,
I,
Saka.
oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Saka as well.
He's amazing. Anyway, regardless, I really like Bowen. I think
Chance he
everyone.
might be back tonight. So West Ham playing Chelsea tonight.
Yeah.
Chance Bowen might be back after fracturing his foot, so well ahead of
Against
schedule.
Liverpool, wasn't it? He did that.
And he's looking like he's back. Quite interested to see tonight. Obviously, we just signed Evan Ferguson, which I think is a really, really good side. Someone that I really, really rate this kid. Not had a great season, obviously injuries, and we might see that for the rest of the season. I think West Ham have missed a trick with Evan Ferguson by not having
right till the end of the season.
It's just a straight loan,
Yeah.
and obviously, I think even if he doesn't do well, I think you could buy him at 40 million if we'd have had a buy option on there or a requirement to buy. I think we might miss a trick, and it might be save pennies to spend pounds again. And if he goes and scores 10 goals or something now, it'd be 60 million because they were asking 100 million for him a couple of years, the season before.
Yeah, yeah, and it was.
And he's only 20.
Is he that young?
Yeah, he's really young. So what you're really buying is potential with him. And yeah, he's had a few injuries, but he's not had his ACL or something like that, his ankle, things like that. Maybe you would think he's young enough to shake this off, and that's probably, he needs time for that, which he's not going to get in this 6 months. He is back fit at the minute. He played in the 7-0 drubbing on Saturday, and he can't play tonight. But then it's also good because West Ham really have got a week off now because we've got no League Cup and we've got no FA Cup. So we've got a free week, really.
So do you see him going straight in?
Yeah, we got no one. We got no Fulkrug. He's out for months. Antonio's out. We've been playing Paqueta and
he just takes Antonio's spot.
Yeah, I think because then you can put it in. I think we're going to see. And actually, weirdly today, and I think it's a really good move, West Ham have recalled James Ward-Prowse from Nottingham Forest, who he hasn't been playing at all this year. Now, I don't think James Ward. I think we actually got a tired James Ward-Prowse at West Ham, and maybe the system didn't suit him. Yeah, James Ward-Prowse did a good first season, but he wasn't. And you add it on goals and assists, which if you look at stats, he done very well. His actual gameplay wasn't amazing, and he's not the fastest in there. But I think with our midfield as it is at the moment,
technician type player, isn't he?
He is, and look, he never scored from a free kick for us so far, but he did do a lot. But we were under a Moyes system with big centre halves for corners. He was obviously a big weapon, which I think is undervalued a little bit.
Would it surprise me to see him go through Everton, actually?
No, I thought that as well. I thought it might have been that they took him in, but West Ham have recalled him. I think it was a smart move from West Ham. He's not playing at Forest. He's barely played all season. So I think he's bringing him back in. I think that probably it's a good sub for us to come in. I think he might start some games. I think give Souček a rest in games. I think it can give other players. But I like what Potter's doing at the minute, and I like that. I think obviously we need players at the moment, but I think Potter's clearly thinking, let's not go and blow our budget here. And maybe that was the thinking with Evan Ferguson, because we're going to have to rebuild this.
What was the actual deal with Potter then? Because
He got a 2-year deal in the end. He
got
never
a
took the
2-year
6
deal.
months.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I did like that he was just going to
Just
the
a
end.
6 month at the beginning. I think what he did, I think when he realised they were desperate, I think he then said, no, I want a 2-year.
But
With
worth
a year's
it. He's
option.
worth a 2-year deal.
Of
He's a good
course.
manager. He's a good
And
manager.
I like what West Ham have done. They've also brought in his recruitment man from Chelsea, who worked with Potter also at Brighton and Swansea. So they've given him his man. So it sounds like he's got a bit of sway there. And obviously Brighton's recruitment. I know Chelsea's was a bit thing, but you can't blame the recruitment man there. Because the owners were doing stuff as well. So that was obviously a bit of mad time. But I think bringing that stability, and I spoke to an agent the other day, a friend of mine, big agent, and he said it's a really smart move from West Ham, what they're doing. It's just whether they give them the actual space to do it, then I think they could create something there. So it's a wait and see with Potter, and obviously we've got nothing to play for this year now.
Sullivan's a little bit of his own worst enemy sometimes, isn't he?
Yes.
You know, like it almost like it's there for him on a plate, but for some reason he decides to go left when he should go right. It's the same with Daniel Levy.
Exactly.
It's there for him on a plate, and 99% of people are saying it's so obvious what you should do.
To be honest with you, I always think with West Ham, with the owners, I always felt if they were just honest and said, you know what, we just haven't got the money to compete with.
They do.
They're
not a poor club, West Ham.
They're not. We're not anywhere near the leagues of state-owned teams.
The only club, no, but still though, like think of it like PSR, right? Because now it doesn't even matter if whoever owns your club now, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how much profit you're making. And West Ham, I think I told you this a few weeks ago. West Ham.
Yeah. Also, with players out, obviously Declan Rice helps to that a lot because it was 100% pure profit of 95 million.
Right. I think what else helps is that you don't have to pay for a stadium.
But also massive.
But regardless of why it is, West Ham are the only profitable football club in the Premier League. There's no one else. So they must have
They
money.
do earn money. And look, and I can't knock the owners on what they've spent. They've spent money. We spent 150 million in the summer. I think we don't spend wisely.
Moyes last summer as well.
Yeah, Pellegrini spent big as well. We spent huge with Pellegrini.
Yeah.
So listen, West Ham. You look at West Ham. Paqueta 50 million. Kudos 30 million. Alvarez big money. Like we've spent money. Fulkrug 32 million. How are we spending wisely? Is the problem.
That's
with
the
West Ham.
Problem for
We've never been able to get a striker.
Yeah.
I think it's something like 50 strikers we've signed under the Sullivan era.
Who have they really gone big on though with the striker? Because Antonio's obviously
Skamaka. Haller was 50 million.
Okay. All right.
So we've gone big, but we bought again. Haller went on to play in the Champions League final with Borussia Dortmund. Skamaka went on to play in the Europa League final last year in Atalanta. They were, though, players that play in twos when we had a system that played a one.
Right.
So,
which is
Danny Ings, another one,
guy
plays in a two, but not in a one. Danny Ings is not a lone striker. We went and spent money on Danny Ings, bought him there, a complete waste. And I think most West Ham fans will say, we all like Ings and feel a bit sorry for him. It's not.
I think everyone likes Ings. Liverpool fans
comes on, tries hard, but he's not a player that plays on his own. He's not a big hold-up man. So if you haven't got a system, where Brighton are so smart, they buy players for a system. And they don't just go, this is what Man United have done over the years. They've just bought players for no relevant system.
He looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good. Let's do that. Which is
names, big things like that, big wages.
Didn't you get rid of that sporting director recently?
He's still there.
Oh, is he still there?
Basically, I think what they're doing is letting him sit
What's
there,
his
got
name?
no say, and openly
German
walks.
fella, isn't he? What's his
Tim
name?
Stidham.
Yeah.
And look, ultimately, what he's done, the players haven't come off. So, like Füllkrug, buying Füllkrug was a ridiculous signing at 32 million or 35 million, I think, at 32 years of age with no sell on and injury problems.
Insane.
It was insane, especially when we were
That
going for John
seems like
Duran,
that seems
who,
more strange than insane, if you ask me.
well, it
Like,
seems like it's a backhander somewhere.
I mean,
I think
seems
that's
very
what
peculiar.
the strangest one of the lot is Luis Guilherme, who apparently is not very good. And we gave 25 mil for this 18-year-old kid who is not even standing out in the under 23s. Now, we've played him a few times. He looks, they're talking about, we bought him in the summer, they're talking about letting him go on loan. We tried to get rid of him Saudi for the same money. No one to give the money. I think Besiktas, someone come in for 15 mil. We turned it down. This reeks of dodgy dealings. And
Yeah, it's peculiar. I don't even know that last. What you say his name is?
Luis
Guillermo?
Guilherme, he was at the same Brazilian club as Endrick. And what it looks like is we've tried to buy a player for 25 in a hope that one day he's going to be 100 mil. Now, if you look at his stats, I think he's a forward player. And his stats in 45 or 49 games or something in Brazil was 1 goal, 1 assist. And we've give 25 mil for him. 45, 1 goal, 1 assist.
Yeah, I think Virgil van Dijk.
Well, of course, yeah.
Goal.
So I think you're looking at it and going, and I'm told, and I say that it could be complete rubbish, that Karen Brady has really got the knives out and she's investigating. I think that's why Steiden's there. I think she's looking and going, we've been sold some dead rubbers here. There's some, and to be fair to West Ham's owners, and that's where you can't fault them. They've listened to the fans, they've bought in a sporting director, and they've backed him to the hill. Like they've said, go out, carte blanche, and do it. Now, what you never know is, are they all his players, or are they some of the owner's players? Or so then you never really know.
The thing with Moyes, wasn't it? Moyes' friction was with the sporting director, wasn't it?
So Moyes banned him from the training ground.
Yeah.
Lopetegui banned him from the training ground, and Graham Potter's banned him from the training ground.
So,
now, three managers can't be. There's something them three managers are saying. This geezer ain't right. Remember, he's brought Lopetegui in as well. So there's something not right where they don't like what he's doing.
Yeah. Did you see, because obviously it's transfer deadline day today, Spurs have...
got this from Bayern Munich, Tau on a loan.
Yeah.
Tell or Tau? I don't actually know who
I think that is his name. And apparently United and Arsenal both wanted him as well. But United tried to sign him permanently, but didn't have the money to, couldn't. Oh no, sorry. United tried to sign him on a loan, but Bayern wanted a permanent deal. Then Spurs tried to sign him permanently, but he turned down Spurs. On a loan. And now he's gone to Spurs on loan when Bayern said no to United for a loan.
Yeah, it's funny. Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe looking at that, I have no idea. But yeah, it seems they've got one over the line. Spurs. I think they bid today and turned down for Mark Gay as well from Palace.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bit of Villa have done a bit. They've bought in Asensio, I think, on loan. They've bought in Rashford, and I think they're trying to get João Felix.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah. But then there was also João Felix going back to Spain. I saw too. Was it Atletico?
Weird player, him. All he does is move around, doesn't he?
No, but didn't Chelsea sign him for some ridiculous
big money in the summer? Yeah,
it was like 90 million or something like
big
that.
Big money, but again, Chelsea, none of it really makes sense. So
Chelsea, but that João Felix is a peculiar one, isn't he? Because he seems to be brilliant, but he's never
gets in anywhere, does he?
Yeah, he's never really been anywhere.
And he's made huge transfer fees to all these clubs, and none of them want him.
I'll bet he gets the best Christmas gifts from his agent every single year.
Yeah.
His
So,
agent must be like, my guy, you've made me 10 million this year.
fuck, I
Crack
bet.
next year.
Right, we're going to finish up there. We will see. So we've got a bit of League Cup, and I'm going watching West Ham in 2 hours. So I've got that on. But yeah, we will see you all next week. I might actually be in Dubai next week doing this, so we'll see. I might be back to jet lag, so go and have a look at saying there. So yeah, last place I want to travel another 16-hour flight both ways, but
I'm sure it's going to be such an arduous task for you to go to Dubai.
yeah,
I'm sure it's
exactly.
going to be terrible.
Terrible.
I feel so bad for you.
Right, I'm off. I will see you later. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.
See you, folks.